Unlike my other sessions, let me start with a negative note today. You will not learn anything new in this session if you are a type of person who achieves everything that you planned for. Every day you plan something and you are able to achieve those tasks. If you are such a person, I'm not sure whether you will get any value from this session. So, all you goal achievers, you may exit. Others continue listening. If but because if you religiously do what we are discussing here in the session, you probably might be asked to leave in this next session because you will be a goal achiever. You don't have anything more to learn after this session. Okay, now that we are a cohort, we are all would be goal achievers. Are you excited for the session? So, how are we common? We all want to do a list of things, a lot of things, in fact. Some of us know what we need in life. Some of us just know that we need much more in life. That's all. Some of us who know what you want in your life even plan out those things. You might plan, you might split that big goal into smaller chunks. You allocate time for each of those small tasks, and that's it, right? If you are anyone like me, that's the max you would do to achieve most of your goals. Let me pause and see whether you have any comments. Do you agree with these statements or not? Very much relatable. True. Yeah, don't even know what I want in my life. I'm wasting my time. Okay. Not able to start. Yeah, starting problem is one of the biggest problems that people have. What else? Okay, cool. Yeah, comments are coming up. Anyway, nice. So, what I want to do in this session is to make a bold promise, a bold commitment that after the session, you will know exactly why you are not able to achieve your goals. You are not able to achieve what you want. I will also introduce you to a very nice framework with which you will be able to evaluate your goals before you even jump into starting or taking that action for that goal. You will know whether this is something that I'll be able to achieve or not. If after the evaluation, if you feel that you can achieve the goal, you can start working on it. But then again, there are pitfalls there. But in this framework, with this framework, you will be able to learn the exact steps with which you can achieve that goal without kind of getting diverted and then not able to achieve those goals. So if you're excited, let's start. But let me warn you. Let me warn you that just by attending the session, you are not going to get anywhere. You are not going to achieve your goals just by attending the session. You will have to put in that hard work. I'm just going to facilitate. Agreed? So, with that, let's start. Now, in theory, this is what I have seen as a result of my sessions. In theory, if you follow this method, your success is guaranteed. But what I have seen practically is that less than 25% of the people who attend my sessions report a transformation. It could be that they are not coming back to me and saying that, yeah, this was very helpful, this is how I have been able to use your framework to achieve my goals, or maybe most of them are not taking that action. So let me ask you, before I start, raise your hands if you believe that you will be in that elite 20% or 25% of category who would see a transformation, who would like to see a transformation, provided you put in the hard work. Are you ready to put in that hard work? If you are, yes, you can be rest assured that you will see a transformation. Raise your hands, please. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see a lot of hands getting raised. Wonderful. This probably is more than maybe 60, 70%. Wonderful. I would love to see myself proven wrong by having more than 20%. If it's 70%, I'll be elated for getting so many people transformed. So, in case you see a major shift in how you do your things on a daily basis, please send me an email, or if you are watching a recording of the session and if you see a change in how a positive change in your life because of these um, ideas that we are going to discuss, please do put a comment saying that yeah, this was helpful, so that people will know that yes, watching this video, spending their time watching this video is worth their time. So without any more ado, let's start. Let's understand this wonderful framework. So my promise was that I will share with you a formula with which you will be able to evaluate your goals. The formula is called the fog, yeah, the success rate, the fog behavior model. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, not this fog. I'm sorry, not this fog. Yeah, this was an intentional joke, by the way. The the framework is called the fog behavior model, and the person you see in front of you is Dr. Fogg, who came up with this idea. It's not my idea. I just got inspired by this idea, and I'm sharing this information with you. So, according to this model, your behavior is dictated by three things, just three things. Now, instead of me telling you what that framework or that behavior model is, let's kind of take an example and then try to illustrate how it comes up in a practical way. Assume that I offer you 100 rupees or maybe $10 if you walk on a 10-meter plank. So you just have to start walking on that plank. You won't have any support. You just have to walk on that plank. It's wide enough. Again, if you are able to walk across that whole plank, you will be getting this 100 rupees or that $10. Will you be ready to take up this challenge? Yes, yes, no. Oh, okay. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, a lot of people saying yes. Now let's break down this above scenario. Uh, there was a trigger, an offer of 100 rupees. I'll give you 100 rupees is what made you think about whether I should do it or not. So that's called a trigger. This trigger is what made you to take an action, or this is the trigger that motivated you to say yes or even no. You might not take an action just because there is an offer, right? You need to have a fair idea whether this activity is something that you can do or not. Walking across a plank is not that difficult. So that's where your mindset, yes, this is something I can do. This is worth the effort. The 100 rupees is worth the effort. Now, the intelligence that you have in understanding whether this is a fair reward for me is called the ability. Yeah. So you understood that it's an easy task, and that ability is what made your mind to say that, yes, I am up for that challenge. Now, there is yet another factor that decides your behavior, and it's the motivation for you to do it. Assume that you're having crores and crores of rupees in your bank account. You don't know what to do with this money. Maybe you have the ability, the trigger was there, but you will not have that motivation to walk that much for that 100 rupees. Anyone in that category here? No. Okay, great. If yes, I would like to connect with you. Now, again, coming back, in this above scenario, you had a good trigger. Your ability to walk on the plank was quite high, and you were motivated to do it. Now, let me add a little more spice to this whole thing and say instead of a plank set on a level ground, it's placed between two towers which are really high. Yeah. Um, if I ask the same question, I'll give you 100 rupees. Will you walk from this tower to the next tower on this plank for this 100 rupees? What would your answer be? No, never. Not risking my life. Perfect. Yes, exactly. That's the answer that I was looking for. You will not take this risk, right? The trigger was the same. The ability also was the same. You were able to walk across that plank, but the motivation was not there. So this is the other side of that motivation. One motivation was you have crores of rupees, billions of dollars in the other part of the world. Um, But here, the motivation was not there. You were demotivated. You were afraid that you would lose your life. Now, I'll kind of change the scenario a bit more and say that the tower that you are standing on is on fire. Yeah. And the only way for you to escape from that tower is to walk across that plank to the other tower. Now, what would you do? What will your behavior be? Of course, yeah, right. Yeah, you'll try your level best to walk. Yeah, perfect. Now, here, the ability was the same, but the trigger was changed. When the trigger was changed, your behavior changed, right? Now, I hope these are the three things that will dictate your behavior. I hope this example was good enough for you to understand that concept. Now let's come back into a theory part and try to understand how this model is being formulated. Now, what Fogg's behavior model says is that behavior is a factor of three things. One is a trigger, the second one is an ability, and the third one is the motivation. And we have understood all these factors in good detail. Now, we are all engineers. I hope we are all engineers. Um, we love formulae. We know we like to put everything in a formula. Right? F is equal to ma, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and whatnot. So many of them, right? So here also we are trying to put it in a formula, and that formula is b is equal to m into a into t. M is motivation, A is the ability, and T is actually the trigger. So when these three things come together, you will have a behavior. You will either do it or not do it. Right. So now to fulfill my promise. Okay. Now this is the behavior Fox behavioral model. This is where the theory stops. Now to fulfill my promise, how are you going to use this model to achieve your goals? Or the first thing was to evaluate whether you would achieve your goal or not. Now for that, what I would want you to do is think of the most desirable goal that you have. One goal that you would like to achieve, say, this year. Think of it, um, write it in a paper, and just stare at what you have written. I'll give you a minute for you to do that. Now, hoping that you have done that exercise, let's use this equation to see if you will achieve that goal. First, are you motivated enough to achieve it? Clearly, you are, because you you have this as the top goal in your life, right? So you are really motivated. Now, the second one would be: are you capable enough to do it, or is this task, the task that is associated with that goal, is it simple for you, or is it too hard, unrealistic? Is it unrealistic, or is it something that is possible? Simply put, it's is it achievable for you? Yeah. If you believe it's achievable, let's talk about the third aspect, which is the trigger. What's the trigger? What is the trigger for you there? Yeah. Most of my clients go blank here. They say, yeah, I want to do it one day. Yeah. Yeah, probably by this year end, I would do it. Uh, but when I ask them, what have you done until now? They say, um, I mean, yeah, I was busy with other things, right? So maybe I'll start doing it tomorrow. Right? Chances are that you also might have answered something similar. This is where most of the people fail. Do you know what's the biggest guilt dying people are having? I'm sorry for getting a bit distracted here, but I want to mention this also. Do you know what's the biggest guilt dying people have? It's never that I shouldn't have done something. It's always I should have taken an action. It's like if I had done something earlier, I probably would have been more satisfied with my life. I wasted a lot of time, right? That's the biggest guilt that people are having. Now, consider your case itself. You had a dream long ago, And if you had taken action from the day you had the dream, you would have covered a lot more than what you have covered today. Most of the cases, right? There could be exceptions, and those exceptional people were sent out in the beginning of the session. So whoever has left, whoever are left out, probably would fall into this category, right? Great, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Now, this is how you will be able to evaluate whether you can achieve your goal or not. Promise fulfilled. Now, I'll end this chart. I'll go one more step further, and I would share with you one more chart before I end the session. This is a brilliant chart that was created with the above formula, the Fox behavior formula. In this chart, you can see two areas, one a green, one a red one. And now this is being plotted on two axes. One is the ability axis, from easy to do to hard to do. And the y-axis would be low motivation to high motivation. So how you read this chart is, uh, you have a curved line, and that's called the trigger. That's where the trigger comes. So when a trigger comes, and if you know how difficult the task is and how motivated you are, you will be able to plot exactly where that task falls in this chart, right? So now let's talk about two tasks that I have written here, plotted here. So task A, if you see, the task A falls into the easier part, right? It's an easy to do, but your motivation to achieve is also not that high. Now there is another task which is task B. The effort required is much more higher in this case, but the motivation is also very high. Now tell me, will task A be complete or task B? Task B, B, B. Yeah, right. Okay. Will you achieve A? Will you achieve B? A is no. Yeah. B is yes. Correct. Perfect. Now, this is what I wanted to share with you as a chart. Okay. What's next? Let's build on top of what we did earlier and try to have three goals now. Write two more goals that you want to achieve this year, and write it down in that same paper. Once you write them, you should rate them according to their easiness, your ability to do that task, and your motivation, so that we can plot it in that graph. Now, understand or think about what the trigger for each of them would be. Write that also down. Okay, assuming that you have done that, one important thing that you will understand is some of your tasks might fall in that red area. If you feel that it falls in that red area, I think it's time for you to kind of postpone that goal to a better time. Maybe in future, maybe next year, 2 years from now, you will have enough resources for you to take action and get that into the green zone, right? Now, before I finish, to make sure that you achieve any goal, you do any task, one very useful thing that I always recommend people is to have one person whom you can share your dreams with. This is very important for you to stay on track. I'd be really happy if you could get such a person, because in this time of history, a lot of people will not have time for themselves. So getting a person to listen to you and then tracking you would be really, really difficult. So please go through the list of friends that you have and check with them whether they would be ready to be an accountability partner for you. Right? Wonderful. Now, there is a reason that you would have listened to me until now. I believe that everything in this world happens for a reason. This is one statement that my mentor and coach told me. Everything happens for a reason. Right? This session would be a trigger for you. You have been triggered. Now it's your time to plot your goals in that chart and understand what needs to be done. The first task itself is plotting your goals. That's the first step. At least this session would be a trigger for you to do that task. Now, the next question I have is, are you ready to put effort to improve yourself? You have plotted your goals in that chart. Are you ready to put the effort to improve yourself? Can you spare some time? Do you have enough resources? It could be time, it could be energy, it could be the attitude for self improvement. Are you motivated enough to see a positive transformation in your professional lives? If yes, continue listening. I currently work with a handful of high performing professionals, helping them accelerate their career path. And this is the exact program that I offered each of them. Now, I'll take about, say, 2 to 3 minutes to go through what I offer them. I usually begin by initiating a comprehensive 1 month intensive program during which we will have personalized one on one sessions. In these sessions, we will go deep into their aspirations, objectives, and even the challenges that they might be facing from getting into that level. Through these interactions, we will pinpoint the exact obstacles that is hindering their path and help them move towards their desired goals. As and when it is needed, I'll offer my mentorship to guide them along the way. Having about 23 years of software professional experience, about 15 years in individual contributor role, and then another 10 plus years in the leadership role, I will be able to bring a wealth of experience to the collaboration that we are having. The personalized mentorship that I offer to each of my clients is really invaluable for all of them. And I'm sure that if you join this program, you'll also have that wealth of wisdom that I'll be sharing with you. Typically, the interactions take place on a weekly basis, allowing us to assess the previous week, engage in a conversation about the upcoming week, what the client wants to achieve, and create a strategy with which you have a foolproof method to achieve the goal. By the end of that session, normally people would have a much more clearer understanding of what they should be doing and much higher motivation to get things done. So, in addition to these benefits, I also give them an accountability framework to assist them in maintaining their progress. As I said, accountability partner is something very important that you should always keep to make sure that you are on track. So this accountability framework will be through a direct access with me. You can send me a WhatsApp message saying that, yeah, this is what I was supposed to do today, and I did ABC. D I could not do. Maybe I'll change a bit of D and then do it tomorrow. Something of that sort. Okay. So this actually eliminates a lot of time wastage because you don't have to wait for that next weekly session to discuss those things with me. So I'll reply as fast as I can, so that um, you are not blocked anywhere. Now, I also oversee a lot of highly successful extended duration programs. Also, it's not a 1 month program that I have. However, my belief is that it's really important for people to be really familiar with each other before committing to a long term relationship. So, as a result, I don't encourage people to get into that long term relationship or that extended program right away. I invite you to take part in this 1 month program, get a taste of how this program works. This will enable you to kind of experience firsthand how the coaching works, its advantages, and what progress you would have made. I can assure you that you will make a lot of progress in different areas of your career in that 1 month itself. Now, if you are interested in learning more, I encourage you to arrange a 30-minute session with me. During this meeting, we can go deeper into your objectives and aspirations. and understand what all challenges you are facing, right? So feel free to use the Calendly link that I'll share in the chat after the session. Click on it and then schedule a 30-minute session with me. Select the time slot that is best suited for you. Now, in case you are listening a recording of the session, I'll probably put the Calendly link in the description or a comment so that you can click on it and then select the time slot. Now, um, before I end the session, I have a small request to ask. Can you think of someone who could potentially gain from attending this session? Would it be too much if I request you to share this recorded link to that particular person? Let's collaborate. Let's support one another in our journeys towards self improvement and growth, thereby helping everyone become the best version of themselves. So until we meet next, keep reminding that it's your responsibility to be the best version of yourself. Once you once you decide that yes, I am going to be the best version of myself, you'll be amazed by the different channels that open up to you to help you get to that best version of yourself. So until we meet next, thank you for listening. Please do share this video with whoever you feel would benefit from it.